right, our first order of business will be the public hearing case 2023B. Just so everybody knows this is being recorded. Introduction of our planning board members: Madison Pixley, Chair; Heather Beatty, Christina Brodeur, Pat Coyne, and our new member, David Demers, who has certified that he has examined all evidence received and viewed the video recording of the missed session held on July 26, 2023, and he is able to participate in this hearing and all future hearings on this matter. So now we're going to just he's going to sign a certification MGL Chapter 39, Section 23D, just confirming that he's reviewed all the previous hearings.
Thank you.
So our statement of authority: the planning board is established under Chapter 40A of the general laws of Massachusetts and acts in compliance with Chapter 40A under the zoning bylaws of the Town of Hampden, Chapter 41 governing the submission and approval of plots of proposed subdivisions, and the rules and regulations governing subdivision of the land in Hampden, Massachusetts. The Hampden Planning Board will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, July 26, 2023 at 6:45 p.m. in the Townhouse, 625 Main Street, Hampden, Mass. On the application of Austin Graham of Graham Construction for a special permit under section 7.542 of the Hampden zoning bylaw for common driveway to provide access to 3 adjoining lots owned by the applicant located on Highland Circle and South Munson Road, lots 45, 46, and 47. Information related to this application is on file in the town clerk's office and is available for review by the public during normal business hours. For the board, Madison Pixley, Chair of the Hampden Planning Board, published in the Hampden Times, July 6th and July 13th, 2023. So the applicant has requested an extension as he's waiting for his drainage report to be completed, which will then be sent to Ty and Bond for their peer review. He's right behind us. Hello, applicant.
Good evening.
The board and the applicant must agree on a date and time to continue. So, come on down, Alston.
Oh, hold on, Bob Barker?
What?
Bob Parker.
Come on down.
Yeah, come on down. Time. So you're still waiting for drainage report? Do you know when you're going to get that?
Don't know yet.
Who's doing it? No, somebody else?
Yeah.
So, you have an app?
Well, we did send it over to them, just trying to see if they're gonna do it or not, so,
Oh, they did, okay.
yeah. My other guy got cancer, so he's out right now.
Do you think we should push this to
Yes,
January?
yes. December, right? December,
December 13th?
yes. January, I don't know if I'm gonna be here. December, I'm sure I'm gonna be here.
Okay. All right, so December 13th,
Yes,
6:30?
6:30.
Does that work, boss?
It's in the computer.
Who's the boss?
This way.
Yeah, I try to be.
December what? Okay, so the board will sign and then you can sign?
Okay, yep.
So it's our only meeting in December.
Got it.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Yes, at the end.
Oh, after we sign it.
Thank you. After this, what?
25, 10:25, 23. Did you want a copy of that, because I can send it to you tomorrow? I'll email it to you tomorrow.
Thank you, and everybody, good night.
Oh, just 1 second. I'd like to make a motion, please, to adjourn case 2023D, the Highland Circle project, until December 13th, 2023. At 6:30?
Yeah.
Okay, at 6:30.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
I can go now and take a shower. Tired, long day. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good day. Everyone.
Yeah, we just adjourned it. All right, so next we will call to order planning board meeting, June 25th, 2023. Our first order of business is,
No.
let's do the Ferrandino.
Yeah. And on this particular matter before the board, I must recuse myself because Mrs. Carrie Ferrandino is my supervisor at.
How are you? All right, so accessory building. Tell us about it.
So we're looking to add an accessory building on our property, just for general storage for our maple business. It's laid out on the plot plan over there. It's all within setbacks and everything else.
Oh, okay, I was putting it on.
It says new barn,
Yeah,
handwritten in.
yeah, I thought so.
So, yeah,
In my brain,
you're looking upside down.
I drive the other way. I live on. Turn it around.
Gotcha, right, gotcha. Yeah, so it's kind of like behind the barn you see from the road.
So this is gonna be.
It's under, your tab. Yeah.
Right, any accessory buildings including barns, sheds, and workshops for the personal use of the residents. Personal use, right?
It's,
Of the premises are permitted, subject to the size restrictions outlined in section 11, providing that no building used for horses, livestock. May occupy. All accessory buildings shall not exceed an aggregate area of square footage which is more than 1/2 the ground floor of the main dwelling, including any attached garage.
It's 960 square feet, I already did it.
The existing building,
No, the new barn.
do you know what square footage is of the ground floor of your house?
What's the total? It's about,
There's no numbers there.
probably around 1,200, 1,100?
I guess I forgot. Yeah, it's 1148. All right, so. And the new one is what,
60.
960? So that won't work. And I think we also have to take into account your other barn and the shack when it comes to adding it all up as accessory buildings,
Yeah.
so. Deviation from the above will require a special permit from the planning board as provided in section 10. So I think in order, yeah, I think we'd have to do a special permit,
Yeah, that's what I expected, yeah.
so.
Over square footage, but it's not a big deal.
So I guess I need to know the square footage of the existing barn, the shack, and then on your plan, on your permit, you'll have the square footage of the barn.
Yeah.
also. All right.
And the square footage of the land. Says 25, a maximum 25% of building coverage per the land.
Should
160.
That was the only building,
What's that?
just the barn, the shack, and the stone.
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah.
They say the,
So it says note A and then B is done. So note A accounts for 160,000 and then there's another 60,000.
Yes, no, at that plan, at one point, the property was split up.
it's all one now?
It's all one, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
So it's just over 5 acres.
Two, okay.
220.
Two. $226. No, 227.
120, 720. 220, 720.
22720.
Do you know the dimensions of the barn you already have there, sir?
Yeah, it's 24 by 30.
4 by 30.
The shack is what? 12,
What, 12 by 12?
No, 8 by 12.
8 by 12. So total you have, for accessory buildings, you're gonna have. About the same as your, over your ground floor square footage. So either way, like we already came to that, you have to.
Yeah.
But, do you have a home occupation for selling them, all of your products?
Yes.
What about, so, are you guys doing wholesale also?
Yeah, we sell our products elsewhere.
So do we have to do something special?
No.
I don't know, if something special, you have to look at the table of use.
Yeah.
I don't think under ag you do.
What was that?
I don't think under agriculture you do you?
No, not for the special permit.
Totals 1,776 between the three.
So like making residential uses, yeah, agriculture. Yeah, agriculture is permitted in R6 and R4. Section 2. I think it's within the districts.
That's 7.54%. For
So what you said?
So this is what I'm looking at right here, this table. So he's in R6, right? So it's 25%, maximum 25% building coverage of land. So if you added everything up, it's 29.4. If you do the percentage to the 220, right, he's only at 7%.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You get 29, 20.
I added all, the house and all the accessory buildings, because it's all buildings. So I added the barn, the shed, the new barn, and the house. And I came up with 7.54% out of the 25%.
Just trying to make sure that your land is, agriculture is throwing me off a little bit. As far as what? Where's the thing? Or what?
Planning board. There, the agenda and the.
So how'd you get it?
Well, it's on Bob. I don't know if it's Carolyn got it, it's there. Carolyn,
You know, the agriculture is in here, it's not listed as agriculture. is
Right,
it?
we're looking at this table. And if you look at art, so you're.
Pink,
So,
this pink table right here.
yes, so this is the table of uses, it explains each district and what uses are allowed, so this first section is residential. And there's a section called agriculture. So, agricultural, civic. Agricultural is page 30. There's a break. And they're in R6.
And what's the P mean?
Permitted, so on that first page of the table, it'll, not the first page of the table, the first page of the section, it'll tell you what each of these stand for. So agriculture's pretty much permitted everywhere,
Use permitted.
with the exception of.
email, I think, send it.
Do you like it? 8 or 5 acres, I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah, I'll see this evening.
Going on next.
Is email or text? We all had.
That's today.
Both times, try.
Pretty good for that position. I think it's smart.
Got it. He's got it? Thank you. Okay. Sorry.
You're good.
Bear with
Take
me.
your time.
No, appreciate it.
There's something else about, you guys make everything on your site?
Yes.
They got the home occupation as a farm stand, and that's a farm stand on parcels of land. I don't know when you got it, if it was less than 5 acres, or what do they have now?
We have 5.3 or 5 point something, I think.
3.68 and the 1 point whatever.
Yeah,
Just
So that's for the farm stand, so they had the acreage for the farm stand. Now you're saying agricultural.
It works.
I don't, agricultural is different. You have to have so many acres and have to have the
doesn't it,
syrup on
It
the.
says more than 5.
I could be wrong, this is from memory, doesn't all farm under like the Farm Stand Act, does that apply here?
Mass Department of Agriculture recognizes maple syrup producers as agricultural districts.
It just says 5 or more acres, 3.11. Yeah.
So 3.11 is agricultural, whether it's horticulture, viticulture,
Yeah, horticulture, viticulture.
Permitted, it's in the R6 district.
Yeah.
So that is a permitted use.
That's what you said.
Yeah. So it is permitted,
So it's permitted.
yes. So I think we just need to do the special permit, I guess.
No, thanks for the effort, though.
Make sure we-
No, really, I'm serious.
They're all new board members, so they're all.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so special permit, application, you'll go through Joanne, and then if you go through. What? Section 10?
In the process?
Yeah. So if you just look at section 10, it'll give you everything that you need.
To submit their application.
Do we have to come back to the planning board with that?
It has to be a public hearing,
So when can we do that?
whenever you guys have your stuff ready.
When's the next meeting?
So,
You can't,
Oh, no,
There's a
yeah,
process.
there's a whole process, like we have to post it. to the
gotcha,
public,
It's
and-
about a month and a half.
nice.
So I would suggest maybe
January,
January.
February?
That work with your schedule?
Not really.
Not really.
I thought we knew going into this was a special permit. I guess I should have got the special permit
You
first.
didn't apply for a special.
Gotcha.
We're just coming in for a discussion,
Gotcha,
just to find out what the process would be and what you were proposing.
yep,
That's all I put on the agenda.
gotcha,
Special permit requires a fee and application, site plan, any supporting documentation, and then you have to submit it. And I have to schedule it to be in the publication for 2 weeks.
gotcha.
It's a
Is
month
it
and a half process.
if it wasn't a special permit, though, we wouldn't come to the planning board, right? Or am I wrong?
You're coming to the planning board for the special permit.
Gotcha,
You have to apply for a certified abutters list to tell all your neighbors what you're doing. So that's through the Board of Assessors. You should do that first.
gotcha,
Once you get that certified abutters list, you can apply for your special permit, come to me, I'll give you the documentation to fill out. There's a $100 fee. Then I start my process advertising it twice in the Wilbraham Hampden Times. And then we schedule the public hearing about a month away. And you
gotcha.
make a decision, then there's an appeal, 20-day appeal process, and then you get your decision.
So why do we need a special permit? I'm confused.
Because your accessory buildings are,
How much are we over?
it's 50% over.
Yeah.
So if the square footage of my house was bigger, I'd be better off?
First floor.
First
the
floor,
attic, First floor, the footprint of the house, half of that, you can have in accessory buildings. You've got
More
equal to.
So all the farms you see throughout New England that have a 600 square foot ranch with a 400-foot barn are illegal?
in Hampden, they would be.
Yeah, crazy to me.
I know.
That's how
Is there any way to speed this up before winter? Because we can't get our foundation in
Chair, no.
once frost hits, that we're pushed back 6 months to the spring. I guess we should start earlier. I obviously understand that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any way to get it. Mentioned December 15th.
What'll be in there?
We're not doing it.
If you go down and get the abutters list
Yeah,
and get me all your information, like next week,
yeah, no problem.
we could possibly get it done, yes.
Gotcha.
Or in October, 25th to November. Yeah, better get everything to me really quick, because it's holidays and everything, you know.
Is it a butters across the street or just next, like,
Anybody within,
how does that work?
300 feet from your property.
Property line?
all the way
Gotcha.
out. They have to be
you have too many
notified.
neighbors, but,
No, it's probably 6, maybe.
I mean, you might have a problem with that guy,
Exactly, I
but.
was.
I think we'll be okay.
Oh, I'm half a mile. Half a mile, this is a mile from driveway to driveway.
Gotcha. What road are you on?
Glendale.
Okay, oh, nice.
Is the board planning on not having a meeting on the 22nd, which is the evening before Thanksgiving?
No,
Correct,
Right, so their earliest possible date
December 13th.
goes into December 13th, you're correct.
So we can try.
Gotcha.
I would just follow this. It's online.
Yep, I'll look it up.
Your list is basically everything you have to do.
Gotcha.
Provide to us, and I don't see any issue with it.
Yeah,
As a accessory building and doing it, it's just a matter of going through the process.
Right.
Which I understand is painful.
cool, thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right, thanks for your time.
I have their about medical marijuana. Here's some vote. Thank you, Harry.
Yeah.
And the reconvene that voted at the town meeting.
Yeah.
Goes into general bylaws.
Okay, yeah.
Added.
I could have sworn I saw the word moratorium here.
But
Is
that's-
John on? Is he
Yes,
on?
yeah,
Okay.
it's on.
Anyway, all right, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Good night.
All right, so up next, I think.
I think you should sit over there.
I'll see.
Announce yourself as why you're here, sir.
Yeah,
Master plan,
Yes, master plan.
you ready?
Yes, I am ready. So as you are aware, there is a warrant article in coming Monday's meeting, Article 11, requesting the additional funding for the proposal that was submitted to us by the consulting firm. And so in advance, in preparation for that meeting, I just drafted, I've been talking with Joanne. I said, well, let me put down some bullet points to kind of get us current. And that's what this draft does. So let me just talk through this, and then we can think about the meeting itself, okay? So here we are in preparation of this coming week's meeting. I noted that the existing plan is dated 1982. Excuse the typo there, but the existing plan, 1982. I do have a copy of that somewhere at home. And what I found in looking at documentation is that if you go on the website for the town, you'll see that the planning board responsibilities, and this is verbatim, state that we are authorized to develop the master plan for growth and make recommendations to ensure that development is consistent with this plan. So that is existing guidance. And then I just went through what we experienced recently. You know, we interviewed the firms, we selected VHB. The process included, you know, interviews and, you know, talked to other local planning boards and got excellent feedback about VHB, and that's how we arrived at selecting them. We also, I would say, had the sense that they were very skilled in certain areas that we were looking for, like data, and we emphasized with them, we're not looking for a product that's something that just goes on the shelf. Because we had heard some feedback to that extent. So as we know, we have received the grant, $75,000, and we'd be still interested in the balance being funded for $57,500. I think the difference is that for this meeting, the distinction is it's coming from free cash flow. So my understanding of John's, my understanding is that.
He's on Zoom.
Oh, so, you know, my understanding is that, so free cash flow does not indicate that there be any sort of change in taxes or any sort of tax impact from us using the $57,500 that's available. So just as background, I think it's important for people to know, I think at the last meeting, I'm not sure everybody appreciated this, that, you know, the plan, a master plan or a long-term plan is something that's required by the state, and it's in the Mass General laws. We also looked at other local communities. Now, Long Meadow has just recently updated their master plan. East Long Meadow also just a couple years ago. And it's clear, and I've talked with our town manager, with Bob, you know, he said that, you know, for any project to be funded, you know, the state will ask if that project is consistent with our master plan. So clearly, just as an operational issue, you know, we're working with a document that really doesn't facilitate or enhance the town's ability in terms of grants when you've got a 40-year-old master plan in the state, if the state is looking for. So, you know, so certainly for those reasons, you know, we need to move forward. And I think what I would say is, and you guys can give me this feedback, is we're moving forward with this, whether we have 75,000 or 75 or 138,000. We're moving forward.
And we'd rather do it the best way.
Yeah, and we'd like to do it the best way.
Yeah.
So, if,
The most.
you know, we can go back to VHB and say, you know, what can you provide for 75,000?
Right, yeah.
But we need to update the plan.
Yeah, the other thing that I found out the other day, I went to the Preservation Committee because I'm the planning board's member for Preservation Committee, and there's apparently a law on the books in Massachusetts from 2012 requiring the Preservation Committee to do essentially what the master plan is going to do with respect to the things that the Preservation Committee money would pay for. And we have almost $600,000 in this Preservation Committee fund. And almost no one asks us to spend any money from it, you know? And if this would be another, like an extension of the master plan, where we would be able to identify by interviewing people who live here, what do you want with housing that is, that the Preservation Committee can contribute to? What do you want with recreation? What do you want with public lands, et cetera? So we're not in compliance with Massachusetts law on two things here. And so I've been asked to now start and create this document for the Preservation Committee where we're going to go around and talk to people and try to figure out what people want to use this money for. And the money comes from the state, and there's a small amount from our taxes that gets contributed to that fund as well. You know, so we're already, you know, it's kind of like we're not really invested in a plan for this town.
Right,
And we haven't been for a long time.
right.
You know, and we love this town because it is the way it is, and maybe we should invest a little time and money and effort to try and make it the best we can possibly make it,
Right.
you know?
Right. You know, and I think just in practice, you know, Joanna and I said, you know, if we had a plan, we would just add a tab to our book and say, there's our master plan.
Right, and we
some of
would
these,
use it
yeah,
all the time. It
and-
would not be on the shelf collecting
Right,
dust.
so that solves that
Right,
problem. And one of the other things we heard in the last meeting was someone mentioned that they felt like, you know, if we have a master plan, that gives the state sort of a ability to reach into our town in some way, which is just not
it gives the
what it
state the
means.
ability to reach out
So,
and hand us money.
Yeah, almost as if, don't update it because we don't want the consequences, which just, I didn't respond to that, because that's just not
Yeah,
right. But anyway, so that, I think we're all, you know, on the same page as far as the money and the way forward. I guess my question would be, at the meeting, I will get up and represent this, and I thought, just as a matter of sort of communication, should somebody else other than me also stand up, and maybe, you know, someone else on the planning board, maybe add some other information, like,
yeah, I could
you could
do
just,
that.
you could do that, and yeah.
yeah.
So maybe they're, you know, they hear from two voices, I think that
Right.
might be
Yeah,
helpful.
yeah, I mean, it's a shame to keep us in the back seat all the time.
Yeah.
When all we need to do is invest some, and it's more energy than it
Yeah.
is money, really. Because you know, when you look at the old master plan, it doesn't look very robust.
No,
Okay, and my plan for this one would be that it be very robust, and we spend a lot of time and effort interviewing people and drilling down, trying to find the best company to do this. And we called Palmer, who they just did, and they raved about this company.
right,
Absolutely raved about them. So we're committed, and we're just asking the town to be committed.
right, right.
You like that?
So you're gonna make the motion and you're gonna second it at town meeting?
Sure, I guess so.
All right,
That's how,
Okay.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, sorry,
So-
that's not my job.
I'm sorry,
That's your job.
can I talk?
Sure.
The pitch you just made, Heather, as a resident sitting in the town, a meeting where you said, we got the people from Palmer that gave us the great review for the people that we're gonna use.
Yeah,
I think that speaks volumes, that's good.
yeah. I mean, I spoke to them personally, and she could not say enough good
Well,
things about
that's-
them.
That's a good speech.
Yeah,
The other thing I'd emphasize, and I said this before, and I think Pat brought it up, but I'd really emphasize that that nowadays, when you go to get a grant, that the state asks right up front, do you have a master plan? An updated master plan.
Right, yeah.
And so it might be helpful too, if you ask Bob Markle what percentage of funds, maybe reel off some grants that we got. Like, have we gotten $2 million in grants in the last 2 years? You know, a number would be helpful if it was a big number. If it's only $80,000, it doesn't help you, but
Yeah, well,
if it's $1 million in grants,
If,
you could say, we've gotten $1 million in grants, and part of that moving forward is gonna require a master plan, and that's, I think, a pretty good self-pull, plus the recommendation from Paul.
right,
Yeah, it's kind of hard for a project to be consistent with a master plan from 1982.
yeah.
And I think, we're competing with these other communities for
Right,
grant money. And we've
right.
got this 40-year-old plan, so. Doesn't look like, we're,
Yeah, and we're not responsible for the last master plan.
Right.
We're responsible for this one. and
That's right.
We're taking it really seriously.
That's a good point, Pat, is we are competing for grant money with, other towns, most of which surrounding us have an updated master plan. So
Yeah.
when it comes down to something that we need to do, grant money or not, if we lose out on grant money because we've got a 40-year-old master plan, guess where that money's coming from?
right,
Your pocket.
yep.
In our pocket.
Right.
Okay,
The other thing would be, this money is coming from, what's the name of the fund again that this money would be coming from? Free cash.
free cash flow.
That needs to be explained to people, I think.
Yeah.
Because we throw that term around, and it needs a definition so they really understand where it's coming from. When I go to these town meetings, one of the things that I find a little frustrating is that I don't understand necessarily all the language that's being used,
Yeah.
And people don't want to say, well, what is that? They just want to get home and have dinner,
So I had the same thought, so I would think John Flynn could explain that term, just what that means to the audience.
Yeah.
I mean, I could do it if he,
Might be worthwhile.
Well, one quick point, that will be explained at the beginning by usually advisory, because they're gonna talk about where's all this money coming from. And to give you a brief recap, like my dad said, free cash is neither free nor cash. Okay? Basically, it's excess revenue. Like, for instance, say you guys appropriated $10,000 for Joanne's salary last year, but you only spent $8,000. $2,000 comes back. It can't go back to the taxes because it was appropriate.
right,
Okay, Joanne's laughing. You pay me $8, I'm leaving.
I said, that's about
But,
right.
but, so all those things collect together. Police send back some, they don't spend everything, whatever.
Right.
Then excess revenue, Cliff projects we're gonna get 300,000 in excise tax revenue. It comes in at 6. The budget was set figuring at 3, so the extra 300,000 comes up for excess. So all that together makes up, like it said, unappropriated funds. That's the excess money that we can either use to spend on projects or reduce the tax rate. The tax rate is not set until typically around December 1st. So last year we spent $14 million at the budget, at the town meeting. That has to be raised by property taxes. But if we take the $900,000 that was returned in free cash and apply it to that, we only need to raise $13 million. So the tax rate may not go up as much.
Mhm.
That's going to be the argument.
Right, that's
Like,
their.
all these things here, do I go ahead and buy the tractor for 100,000 or make the old tractor limp along and use the 100,000 to not bring up the tax rate quite as much? And that's the type of thing. Well, all these projects on the thing, ignoring the fiber optic, which is not real money, you're looking at probably in the $400,000 range.
Mhm.
Right now, and Joanne can correct me, with what was passed at the town meeting and no adjustments via free cash or stabilization, Dick is estimating a 6% jump in the tax rate. That's pretty big.
Yeah,
So that's going to be the argument about, well, do we use some of the free cash to alleviate the big jump? The other thing is to use stabilization. We have over $2 million in the savings account. How much of that do we really need? A former head of the advisory committee said, I don't pay the town to be my bank. It's good to have some money, but at some point you're just taxing to throw it into your bank, not mine, and that's not fair. So
When will that decision be made, whether to use that money that is in the savings bank to alleviate increasing the taxes?
right now Bob is talking to the Department of Revenue to see if it's with the wording that he put on the town meeting, if we have the option to do it. So otherwise, if that's not true, we would have to call a special town meeting possibly in November to allow that, before we set the tax rate.
And will that be, is the general public aware that the tax rate could go up 6% if we don't find money?
No, these numbers are evolving every day. We just got the answer. For instance, the new growth comes from the assessors. They go through everything that was permitted, things like that, and they tell us what new growth numbers are. This year was down a bit because the first year that a solar field didn't come online. So the taxes for new growth were probably in the, I think they said it was under 100,000 basically in revenue.
But then the flip side, the flip argument to that is if we have a good master plan and everybody contributes and we look at what kinds of businesses we would ideally like to bring into this town, that could help our tax rate in the long run as well, could it not?
Sure. Exactly.
If we're more engaged and more enthusiastic about trying to build this town the way we want it, rather than just letting it sit.
I mean, right now we're at, when we do the tax classification hearing, I believe the numbers are 96% residential, roughly 2 to 3% commercial or business.
Yeah, right.
And if you want more, because we never do a split rate, because we'd be beating on business too much. But if you want more ways to sort of soften the blow, so to speak, on the residential, you need to find a way then to encourage, as you said, people to want to come to Hampden and do some growing, and like you said, a forward-thinking master plan. Look, we all love the 80s, some great music back then, but it's not where we are right now. And I'm only looking at a couple members of the board because the rest of us have no idea what music was in the 80s.
I don't.
I do.
I liked the 60s better.
Thank you very much. Those are my people.
Can CPA money be used? No, to fund a master plan?
To fund a master plan?
You have 600,000?
No, I know, no, I don't think so.
No, the CPA, there are 3 prescribed things for CPA: historical resources, affordable housing, as Heather talked about, and open space. Obviously, we're all aware that open space has been really tapped pretty well, with miniature amount, things like that. Affordable housing, which is pretty much the housing authority, there's a lot of money in there, but for a real project, there's nowhere near enough money. What we're looking at there, and I'm the rep housing board, is that would be your match type. Say a grant came from the feds, but the town would have to provide 10%. That's when CPA helps. Because they're going to give us, they're going to give us 2 million. Well, CPA can do the 200 and get money in. So,
And the cops do their rounds, they check the doors.
Oh, I did just hear.
Yes.
Okay.
all right, down on the floor. So, anyhow, I will be there. Again, there will be pictures, different articles.
Quite understand.
I would say number 9 on the agenda.
11.
11. That should be around 11 o'clock. A fiber and 3-hour discussion on fiber.
What is he talking about? I can't hear.
He's saying, based on the articles, 11 o'clock, you're number 11, you'll be here till 11.
Oh, jeez.
I'm only kidding, but based on the conversation online about
by
fiber.
9.
This is a quick one.
Yeah, but we were out by 9, weren't we?
I think so.
Well, no, I mean, we anticipate the senior center addition shouldn't take long. Fiber should be a pretty good discussion.
Oh, God.
So, and then after that, they should go pretty quickly. But I wouldn't say, I would guess 45 minutes on the fiber discussion Tad would know, he's tied in with people, but people want to know what's going on.
If
I really
Spectrum or whoever wants to put fiber in, let them pay for it.
Well, that's, yeah. Speaking of fiber, our Netflix bills are going up to $23.99 a month.
Are they really?
I'm about to go back to an
I
antenna.
noticed on my email today, $23.99 a month. So
I'm dropping TV. I got a Nintendo 2600. That's all I need.
Fiber would help.
yeah, I
Put
mean,
the screws
if it
to-
really worked.
Spectrum,
I have
because
a phone.
Spectrum's just, you know.
Right.
All right.
Well, again,
Yeah, I'm not sure, are we doing the minutes or not?
Yeah.
okay. All right, thank you all.
Thank you.
Right, let's read September 27th. Oh, wait, they're both.
Yeah, I have another, I just gave them to you just so you get a feel of what the process is on minutes.
From last month.
Yeah, from a couple, September 27th, in your tabs, tab number approval. of minutes,
Yep, see it.
The yellow one, just so you know the process. What we're
Thank you.
The first one's the public hearing, which was before the regular meeting, kind of like what we did today.
And I know Heather's gonna find a typo.
No, not yet. Hold on, let me get my
We
glasses.
read them really quick.
Looks good.
Wait, I'm confused.
What?
I called the meeting order at 5:45, closed it at 6:03, public hearing didn't start till 6:43. Is that right?
Oh, yes, because
That's what it says, yeah.
that
I'm
was,
just making sure.
there's one in between,
There's,
the Casilius
oh,
one
okay.
that I didn't get to yet.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
that's
got
why.
it, just making sure.
Yeah.
Making sure
I did
supposed to be
I
like
did the 2
7
quick
minutes.
ones.
Yeah, no, that's fine, I get it. I'm good with both of these.
Yeah, I am too.
Good.
I move that we approve meeting minutes for the public hearing continuance of case 23B on September 27th, as well as the regular meeting minutes of September 27th, 2023.
I second the motion.
Aye.
That's it.
Just as an FYI, Tom State for Gibby Lane, Meadow subdivision, would like to come to our next meeting. If they would. Tom State, the actual owner of the property, to get Gibby Lane approved at town meeting.
To get it approved for what?
An approved street for the town, it's not an approved street.
Oh,
If it's
I
not
see.
approved, it doesn't get the service.
This is the one that by the end of the meeting, we found out it had been paved.
Yeah, you're
The
talking,
Kibbe Lane
it's
is
the one where
paved?
the lawyer from Bacon
Yeah,
Wilson came
right.
in with the 2 possible bonds.
Right.
This is the subdivision, the actual owner of the property.
The guy that they've never talked to.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but he's
I
he
wouldn't spend all
wants to
this
come in
time.
and discuss, he figures, since his father started this subdivision, he'd like to get the Kibbe Lane approved. And then if they purchase
And
the
so
rest,
approving the actual road is our job?
oh, yes, we have to.
Really,
I believe,
it's not the
public
highway
hearing.
departments. Do we have to get information from the
Yes,
highway
we do.
department before we can approve it?
We have documentation from Mark and the highway, he already sent it to me, I gave it to you guys last time. He's in contact with Tom Spade, their friend, they know each other, so they are clearing up what's outstanding. They know each other, they work together.
Yeah, okay.
So he's in touch with him. We'd have to get them to sign up on it. There's a process for approval of it. And I'm not sure if we have to have a public hearing or not. I haven't done one yet. But if we do, we'll have to have that. And then it goes to annual town meeting to vote to approve this in the spring.
And is the process in the bylaws?
The process for the approvals of a street, it's in subdivision rules and regulations.
Subdivision rules, all right, thank you.
It has to meet the, whatever, 32 feet, 28 feet, whatever it is.
There's a whole-
Curvage.
It's in subdivision,
Yeah.
got it, okay.
I was already reading it.
Subterranean surface and all.
Well, that's what I was thinking about this one on Highland Circle. I was like, if you're already going this wide, you might as well just put a road in off of that street.
Probably more expensive.
Joanne,
Yeah.
I want to leave this in here
Yeah,
for when they come back.
Yes.
For the parent. Okay.
that site, he's gonna have to provide an updated one, because that's dated 2008.
Oh, that's,
That's all right. Motion carries.
Okay, I move that we adjourn the meeting of the Hampton Planning Board of October 25th, 2020.
Second that.
Aye.